Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
Welcome to Mayberry. Population Army of One. A lot of mother fifers spreading my name with rage. Masked up, dropping the bass now, ready to laugh you off the stage. It's that umbrella guy back with the mic check, standing still crushing the show. We're PR, no we're not. Wait, a website interfering with his cash flow. And maybe stop using kids to push your cheap products. Yeah, you can't sell them shaped like small roosters. Yeah, roosters, that's it. Yo, roosters. And while we're dancing, let's kick this into overdrive. Wrecking the hardwood to see if roaches will survive. How many people have they threatened and docked so far? Targeting witnesses and police while claiming nowhere PR. There's a legal line, and you're too dumb to know you've crossed it. Dial a lawyer, maybe they'll tell you to toss it. And here's a question, how to tuck yourself into bed, knowing what they keep in a bottle in the back of that shed. The ex you ignore. You say listen and believe, well, you got it. Your own client's version of truth. Yeah, we've sought it. Pretending everyone is sympathetic, but the things she's alleges you're ignoring now, that's pathetic. But keep flexing, pretending you can't lose, hoping you'll make on the nightly news. At this rate, not only will you fail, but one of you morons might land themselves under the jail. Funny how it's their truth you're being sacrificed on the altar for. Not the truth. Their truth. Their version of whatever makes the change jangle. But hey, as long as you sell a few shiny baubles and get some greenbacks, you're okay with it, right? Right. Cause you know it ain't right.
Oh yeah, roosters, baby. Roosters, man. Oh, I forgot to tag today's video too. I was like, why is there only 700 people on a Saturday? Oh, maybe I should have tagged my video. Whoops. Some days, right? Some days indeed. It's fascinating to find out, by the way, that there have been a lot of letters going back and forth. There have been, in fact, there have been a few not only going from Bruce to say a Dave Neal, but there were more actually going toward a Megan Fox. That's right. Isn't that interesting? You had multiple targetings that were happening. I mean, I look at that and I think, wow, that's absolutely insane. Give me a minute here. Let me make sure of something. All right, there we go. Yeah, it was really interesting to find out that we had emails going out to random people. We had mails that looked like threats coming in. We also have the interesting Shara items. There's always stuff. Always something new, it feels like, and I don't know. I'm baffled sometimes by this crazy. oh man, and there also, of course, was a banning. I'm looking through. There was a banning from Shizzy Wiznut. We had certain Brucey Bruce actually get the door. He hit the door handle, on his way out for that one. I mean, there's been a lot going on in the last few days. What's up with you folks, by the way? I'm going to be pulling up all kinds of fun stuff tonight. Actually, I need to set one other thing up. I forgot to pull out here. Man, I just noticed it. I was like, wait a minute. I can't show you everything until I pull that one up there. It's okay, though. It won't take too long. I want to make sure you see everything that's been going on. I'm pulling up a statement. Again, the Shara stuff is getting really fascinating. They've been talking about Shara and Shara as a witness. That's actually kind of fascinating. They themselves have been saying, oh, Shara's been doctoring evidence and more, which is, that's not going to work out very well in a courtroom, because that's not going to, you may be able to sell that to a YouTube crowd full of morons that populate these channels, but you can't sell that to people in a courtroom. Also, notice this weird thing. Listen, you notice every now and then you hear a tiny pop, but that's about it. That's because I replaced my chair. That's right. The chair that sounded like a dying llama. Yes. Finally, the thing broke. So I had to go out on Friday and actually pick up a brand new chair. Oh, I needed one really badly too. That thing, oh my God. It was sad. It was sad, like put it out to pasture sad. I hated to lose it. I think I've had that thing for 10 years, but I used it in office work too, but I had to reach in deep and actually get a chair. Fascinatingly enough, out of trying out different chairs at my height, Posturepedic chairs and stuff don't work as well. So I found a good gaming chair with a little thing I can put on my back. It actually feels better. Hey, what's up, kiddo? What you doing?
Need a drink with my pizza bite because I'm thirsty.
You what? You want? Well, you want?
No, I don't want orange juice.
No, you want to. You need a water. Is what you need. That's
No,
what. No water there.
Does
No
orange juice, orange juice,
Mm-mm.
milk.
Water today. It is a water day. Here, you can have my water if you want. You can have my water.
No.
Yep. Yep. Here, you gotta go upstairs. If somebody does not want water today, here, take water. Take it. You have to drink water, for real. We were out yesterday and you didn't drink enough water. You have to drink water today.
What did we do?
You have to go upstairs. Go.
Not the water in my hand.
I'm trying to let you off that thing. You nut.
You have to grab this part right here.
Yeah, well, I was trying to hand that to you. There you go.
Look.
Yeah, here. Well, here, let me have that so it doesn't
It
get
has
broken.
mom and dad on it.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, go upstairs. Take it. You better eat your peach bites. They're going to go bad. Yes, So like, good habits. No way. What? Water? No way. Yep, water. Go enjoy the water. Love you. Close my door. She was like, I don't want your orange drink. I was like, good. You're not taking my orange drink. I love it. Let me help you this. Schwartz, thank you for that membership there. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome, Tugs. Appreciate that. Man, T for 2. Thank you for the 8 months there. There's not a statement attached, but that is a statement itself. 8 months. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sean, thanks for 3 months. Hey, Tug. Hi, all you lovely people in the chat. Indeed. Love to all of you. Hi, back to you as well. Thank you. Shelly, thanks for 3 months there. Has my tinfoil hat and self-hugging jacket ready for the crazy. Yes, make sure you get that ready, of course. Melody, thanks for the 2 months, and on we go. Oh yeah, here's the thing a lot of people don't understand too. This stuff gets it's escalated to like these insane levels. I mean, we're finding out again about people being contacted behind the scenes, YouTubers. We've had, again, if you kept up with the Laura Owens saga, David Gingras, the lawyer there, apparently Bruce decided to reach out to him, make contact with that, which is absolutely insane when you think about it. I mean, we're talking about a case that was lost, dealing with false accusations of, I'm going to say, ARP, of multiple babies, and so much other horrible stuff. And this guy, I mean, he's even Bruce has now had to admit, even though he probably didn't get an answer. That's what I'm figuring. We'll look at the letter today. It's something else. And Daily Dysfunction. What's up, Daily Dysfunction? How you doing there? Thank you for a gifted membership as well. Thank you. All right, let's get this rolling here. Now, the letter itself is actually quite the fascinating one, in the fact that, man, it just closed on me. Of course it would. The letter is quite fascinating in the fact that it just rebelled against me. No, it's actually quite fascinating in the fact that you're finding out more and more behind the scenes. Now, Bruce was actually kind of afraid that this stuff would end up out there. People would actually talk about it. And yet, even though he was afraid people would talk about it, he notes that in his letter itself, he still sent it. And he sent it over to Dave Neal. Now, to me, that's a weird thing, a very weird flex. But what's happening here, this is my opinion on it. I think he's trying to ostracize Megan Fox, trying to say, hey, Megan, you don't have any friends anymore. And that's totally wrong, by the way. Megan, Dave Neal is good people. I want to say this. Anything that I say during this, I'm not saying anything negative about Dave Neal. Dave Neal is actually good people, okay? So I just want to make that very clear. Megan sent this over, making sure that we had a wonderful copy. It brings her up. It brings me up. It's crazy stuff. I mean, it is crazy business. But what it tells you again is this attempt to ostracize there. Hey, by the way, Phoenix, thanks for those 2 months too. They want to miss you there. And Janice, thanks for the 20 there. Baby Umbrella Girl, here's some money for a cool new water bottle. Yeah, maybe that's what I need for drinking water is way better in a cool, new, reusable bottle. Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to find her the most amazing reusable water bottle ever. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe you're on to it. Elaine, thank you for that membership too. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Thugs. Appreciate that. And Kim here. Last but not least for sure here. Kim, thank you also for your new membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Thugs. So check this out. Let's read this over. Now, again, this is to Dave Neal. Let's blow this all up, okay? Let's make it pretty so we can read it very well together. All right? Now, you'll notice certain names are pulled up in this. Now, the reason that they're pulled up, by the way, is because Bruce is very thin-skinned. He does not take to anyone saying something he does not agree with very well at all, as you've probably noticed by now. I think that is very, it's very easy to see with certain people, but you got to think, like when he wrote one of the journalists begging for attention, he put in Shizzy Wiznut, and he does this again here. Now, what's Shizzy's role in it? Shizzy, again, when I say this, I don't mean this negatively at all. I like Shizzy Wiznut. Shizzy has said himself he doesn't have a gigantic channel, but he's funny. In fact, what he wrote made huge waves, and it made Bruce look like a freaking fool. When you make Brucey look like a fool, which doesn't seem too hard sometimes, that I think really got on his nerves. What really got on his nerves, though, is people liked it enough that Shizzy came on this channel, did an interview to talk about some of that, ended up with 2,000 freaking viewers at the time. And, this is a guy that is begging people to cover mac and cheese. And yet, when Shizzy comes on, makes some jokes about mac and cheese, he can get 2,000 viewers doing So hi, Dave. Forgive the length. Oh man, forgive the length. First time he's ever had to say that in life. Wait. I shouldn't have said that out loud. I mean, I was talking about brevity, of course. Nothing else. Don't infer anything from that. Forgive the. Oh my God. Some days. Let me see. Give me a second there. Man, the jokes write themselves some nights. I'm the lawyer, Megalodon's foe, and also that umbrella guy, referred to as Bruce. BBB. You know him also. Better Business Bruce Melatonin. Many a name out there. He's from Otter Creek / What the Hell story. She, quote unquote, covers. Now it's fascinating, like I mentioned, when Megan pulled this stuff up. There were a lot of things in here after I thought about this whole freaking document. I thought, man, that's interesting and bizarre, but it's fascinating. He brings up multiple people, but he's fixated on Megan Fox. Not they cover. She covers. Why? Because again, even when he tries to pad out his fixation, adding in other names, it's Megan Fox. I can't stand it. He loves it. Sometimes I'm known as Bubbles. Can you imagine writing this, by the way? I mean, really, can you imagine writing this out and being like, yeah, sometimes people make fun of me and call me Bubbles. A name coined by another YouTuber. That would be Shizzy Wiznut, milking content from What the Hell story. Yeah, that's right. If you would like to join in on milking content from those Bruce. Actually, making it straight from Bruce this time. Make sure that you sub. Make sure that you like. Make sure, if you want to go further, drop in a little of that breadstick money. Milking content. Can you imagine? I mean, again, telling people like getting pissy about Shizzy Wiznut and that umbrella guy. I mean, it's amazing in life. I swear. It thankfully seems to have supplanted the original villain nickname given to me by Jeremy Hale's Deuce Foreskin. Apparently that one really got to him, by the way. Apparently he hated that one more than anything. By the way, we have something breaking on this we'll share in a little bit too. Something to add to this that you all haven't seen, which is fascinating. Now he says that Deuce Foreskin is a little anti-Semitic tinge. Always nice for some people. A little anti-Semitic tinge is always nice. Are you saying that anti-Semitism is nice? Is that what you meant by that? I was trying to go through this, and again, the idea of forcing, just taking an entire people's and boiling it down to that one word, that seems to have been anti-Semitic in and of itself, doesn't it? I mean, it does, right? It can't just be me that thinks that. But then on top of it, you read it and it sounds like a little of that. Well, it's always nice for some people. Huh. Maybe that's pointing to himself. I don't know. Maybe he's like that. He's like, a little anti-Semitism now and then is something that Bruce loves again. I don't know. I don't know what he means. But surely he's not going out and calling Jeremy Hales the guy that is suing his client And he's been involved in an anti-what-the-hales media ecosystem. Surely he's not calling that guy an anti-Semite, is he? That would be really crazy, wouldn't it? I mean, you have this strange conspiracy about a media ecosystem dedicated to being ruinous toward that one guy, and then you come out and you start claiming it's strange. Like I said, that doesn't seem like something you'd really want to engage. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they totally are talking about Jeremy, right? And of course they are. Of course, he's calling all of us anti-Semites. What a piece of garbage, man. I swear. That's all these folks do. Again, they have no legal argument. They have no good arguments for anything. So what do? They write random people like Dave Neal. And they accuse someone that he knows nothing about, by the way. Jeremy Hales, he hasn't been covering this case. So he's introducing an item that, again, he's heard about maybe in passing. But he's writing him a lengthy diatribe here. And as part of that, he's calling Jeremy Hales an anti-Semite. That's pretty wild. Now, he wanted to know if you'd be able, that's Dave Neal again. And again, like I said, when I'm talking about this, Dave is good people. Nothing in there. He wrote this. Dave did not. Dave wasn't like, yo, please write me this letter. None of that. Although I do have to say, good job there for writing him. He apparently sent this to other people, according to Megalodon's Foe, too. So also he sent it to few of those hate channels, the anti-what-the-hales media ecosystem. Yeah, it seems like a few of them were tagged in too. But number one here, you notice, by the way, no squeaking from a chair. Again, every now and then you'll hear it rock, because I'll rock back and forth sometimes. I get excitable and do that. But it doesn't sound like the other. It's like, it's pretty nice. It doesn't sound like I'm birthing baby pterodactyls over on the desk or something. But number one, do you have some understanding, or even just an image of the What the Hell's YouTube story about bad neighbors and related litigation? Do you know about that? Now, it's fascinating if he were like, no, I don't. I have no idea, because, again, he's already planted an idea that guy that he may be talking about there being an anti-Semite. Also, I'm sure he's trying to, he brought it in with all these other people. So this is somebody that live streams with Megalodon's Foe. Is he calling her that as well? Now, if so, is Megan Fox the only source of whatever you do know or hear about it? Like Dave Neal, if he were actually wanting to look into something, he doesn't have the ability to go and research items himself. One of the things, too, with Megalodonis is the fact that she actually goes in and she picks up all documentation related to something. She has a very extensive collection of documentation. She has made sure that she has everything put together. That's the smart way to play, always, Number three, hey, what's up, man, by the way? Just saw you in there, John. Hope you're doing good, buddy. Now, that Megan has told you on the live stream that I'm just like Dave, the tramp stamp lawyer, Gingras, because, quote, in it for the fame, may I take some time to respond? Well, he took some time to respond anyhow. Now, I don't know if Dave actually went through and read it. I haven't talked to him about this, so I have no idea what his thoughts on this were. But it's fascinating that his initial inquiry, again, is pages long. He has to respond from go to his own letter, being like, yeah, I'm sorry about writing such a damn long letter. When it comes to the What the Hales case, Megan refuses to let me chat in her echo chamber, let alone respond to her many attacks and defamatory statements about me and my clients. Yeah, truth is defamation, right? Truth is defamation. Isn't that fascinating? Truth becomes defamation. He's somebody that has asked her to cover John Cook. Wanted her to cover other things. You don't get it both ways. As we've said many times, you don't get it both ways. You either get it one way or the other way. You can't have it both ways. But he wants it there. He wants to be in the chat. You know, he was there for the longest time, too. And you know why he got kicked out of Megalodonis's chats? Not because of anything related to What the Hell's, interestingly enough. She allowed him to stay around. What he ended up getting kicked out for was going into unrelated stuff. Let's say things that dealt with kids, horrific things that she was addressing, and hijacking the chats, making them about crime. Why? Well, my personal opinion is it's just like what John Cook noted in those Shara messages. You put out enough stuff there, maybe you'll get a reply. He just didn't get the reply he wanted. Maybe he hoped that she would blow up on him, but instead he ended up getting booted out, and he's like, I can't talk anymore in her echo chamber, let alone argue. So sad. I watched Gingris's videos and your response to one, and read up and learned enough about Owen's Eckerd case to realize the same that you and Megan do about the claim about Owens and about Gingras for taking that case, and now for the way he's conducting himself. So he thinks the same thing, huh? Now he has no self-awareness in making these remarks, but it is fascinating. This guy, he reached out, he's going to note, to David Gingras. He reached out to freaking Laura Owens' counsel because he had hoped to, quote unquote, compare notes on Megan. He had hoped to find somebody that had been going after her, threatening to sue her, threatening to wreck her life, hoping they could get together and chit chat on how best to fuck up her life. That's the only reason, man. You know, it's crazy. The stuff that he admits is absolutely crazy. And he has to back away from that, probably because the email exists. I hope David Gingras there actually listens to what this guy had to say about him, by the way, gets annoyed by it. And since he's running a YouTube channel, actually dumps the email. Wouldn't that be something? You know, hey, buddy, let's partner up on the sly. Again, I don't know what's in it, but that's fascinating. I mean, what other point would that have? Just to be honest, like what other point would that have? I always wonder. By the way, Rizzo, thanks for the 2 months. Love from the Netherlands, 2:30 a.m. I saw that making me awake. Well, I appreciate you. 2:30 in the freaking morning, man. Wanda, thanks for the 5. Hello, Tug. Here we go on the slow boat to crazy. Yeah, by the way, thank you. I hope everybody around you is doing good, and I hope you're doing well too. Suzanne, thanks for the 5. Tug working the milking machine and the farm. Slurp. Indeed. Milking the content. Isn't that funny? John there too. Saw you in there. Greetings chat. Love y'all. Late. Thank you, brother. Also, have you heard of Anne? I don't even know how to pronounce that. She's a popular YouTuber who made some videos about how Goon showed up her prior address after she was paid to make content about, did he? Oh, yeah. Dozens confirmed. That's crazy. So they showed up. No, I haven't. I'm going to look into that right after this. That's nuts. That's nuts. People showed up at her address. Man, you notice they don't pull this shit in the deep south, by the way. You notice goons don't show up at your house. You know, what are they going to do? Like I said, I have a reloading doorbell. It's just not going to go there. But that's wild. That is absolutely wild. I'm going to have to look that up. Man. John, also, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Dude, that is nuts. The more I think about it. Oh, it's not surprising, though. It's not at all. Oh, man. Thank you, though. 5 gifted memberships there. Appreciate that. And Sid, thank you for the gifted membership. Appreciate that. You know, it's wild to think that people are being paid to make content when, again, all that stuff with so many of these clowns, again, allegations. Now, I feel confident in saying, I can't say he's guilty of everything he's been accused of, but he's definitely guilty of some heinous shit. There's video out there. It's undeniable. So, you know, he's gonna have real problems trying to convince people. Well, like I said, I can't say he's guilty of everything, but he's guilty enough, you know, definitely enough. So for him to be like, oh, people are doing this, they're out to ruin. Maybe they are, by the way. Maybe he said he's going to wreck all these other people that were at his parties. Good. Hope so. Hope so. Hope he takes them all down with him. You know, if they're all scumbags, hope they all go down. But anyway. For Megan to flippantly and gratuitously clump me in with that type of lawyer, again, talking about Gingras here, based on the public profile he's created for himself, is defamatory. Now, he's going to, are you going to sue for that one too? You know, so what is it? Ambulance chaser, don't have any clients outside of, again, the client that you, or the clients, I suppose, there. That was another thing. And now saying that he's just like David Gingras. Huh. It's fascinating. Remember, though, he believes in free speech, too. Notice how many of these lawyers believe in free speech until you want to utilize it to talk about what they do. I predict that Gingras, I keep changing up the pronunciation. It's actually Gingras, by the way. Probably everyone knows that. Will face discipline for the statements he made about Judge Mata. Again, remember, he made some pretty crazy statements about a judge. He made statements right after court hearing. When he made statements about the judge, by the way, he was going after her father, too. He made some crazy statements in filings. And he made some crazy statements on YouTube as well as Twitter. It's out there. It is out there. It's bad enough that he can see it. But you know, when he's saying this stuff too, there's a point to saying this. It's like, hey, Dave, I agree with you, buddy. We're on the same side. By the way, you know that megalodonous foe that you've been talking to? Holy shit. That's messed up. And it is a messed up thing that's being done here, by the way. Because this is an attempt, again, to ostracize her. Set her in the corner, friendless. Drive away everyone. Drive wedges in. You write some of my friends, by the way. I dare you. I fucking dare you to write people like, say, Yellow Flash. Write him. That's one of my friends. My friends will laugh you off the fucking stage here. And they'll become very interested in this. And they'll become very interested in laughing at you. So you're welcome to write them. Like I said, I dare you. Oh, my God. Wouldn't that be something? What he's hoping is that, again, he can drive some kind of wedge there. That's what it feels like to me. But even without those public statements on his YouTube videos, I believe his rhetoric in the appeal brief, which he read on his video, would itself constitute misconduct. He noted that, quote unquote, only false statements This would subject him to discipline. Wrong. False or with reckless disregard, meaning you can't just get away with it by saying, I don't know if it's true or false. I believe it. You better be able to back it up. That's fascinating considering some of the statements. Like, I don't know. Again, bringing up Jeremy Hales and saying, he's got a little anti-Semitic tinge to him. That seems like throwing that right out the window, doesn't it, asshole? Huh. It's fascinating, isn't it? It's like, with reckless disregard for, by the way, he called me a name. And therefore, this is the same thing, by the way, that Laura Owens, she actually tried to pull. Remember that her quote unquote father talked about statements and saying statements that were just cockroach. Somehow cockroach, Because I was saying with Megan, Deuce foreskin, cockroach. You see something there? Do you see any similarities? Just saying. That's something. I emailed Gingrich. Now look at this. This is a really interesting statement. I emailed him before learning what I have about him and the Owens-Eckerd case. So he admits reaching out. I thought he did his homework. I thought he was prepped to go, but no, he didn't reach out to him to find out something about a case or anything else. No, why would he do that? Oh, well, he tells you here to see if he wanted to compare notes on Meghan. Huh. That's creepy, dude. You just talked about everything that's wrong and fucked up about this dude. But you wanted to reach out to him. You did no research because you thought you could find an ally to harass and defame Megan Fox. Fun times, huh? Amazing what you admit to. Usually this kind of stuff is the unspoken parts. I say that a lot. They say the unspoken parts out loud. Typically there's things that you don't admit to. These people will do. I ran into, like I said, in another case, I knew people were conspiring behind the scenes, running PR and doing jacked up stuff. Knew it. I even had proof of it. But I couldn't release it because these people will make statements public statements. Then I'm like, you didn't say that, did you? Yes, they did. And they will write them in emails and everything else. It's wild stuff. Wild to see people admit that. Oh, there you go. Thank you, John. A typo. It's AMALA. Okay. Candace Owens and others have confirmed goons are showing up on people's doorsteps to talk about Diddy. That is nuts. Also, the Johnny Somali drama. Thanks for fun. They're interested in that drama. It looks like he's really effed up in South Korea. Yes, I've actually looked at some of that too, man. And he already messed up before, but he managed to get himself out of trouble. And he decided he was going to pull the same thing in Korea. And while he's in Korea, Korea is not the same. You have plenty of lawyers that live overseas, and they've said, this guy's going to push it too far. And he did. And then he tried the same thing. Oh, well, I didn't really mean anything. I'm just blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. I think he messed up big time. I think they're going to make an example out of him, too. And to be honest, I think he deserves it. There's one, you can go into a foreign country. And by that, I mean any country that you're not from, and give offense. That can happen. And sometimes, what can happen to you is terrible. And that's an accident. This guy, what he did, though, was no accident. He kept doing just horrible things, insulting, degrading crap. And yeah, he's going to be going to jail. he's gonna be he's gonna learn a terrible lesson. And like I said, he deserves it. He's already gotten away before, and he just went back to it. So, I mean, I have no sympathy for him whatsoever. But yeah, I have kept up with that somewhat. You know, it's been nuts to watch. Anyway, with Megan here. So, Megan mentioned. Actually, I want to read this one more time. Before I say this, I want it to all to be together. Again, he emailed Gingras before learning about Owen's Eckert to see if he wanted to compare notes on Megan, since she was frequently mentioning him and me together by way of equating us. I haven't followed up. Now, what this makes me wonder, that statement says that Gingras wrote back. Does that not feel like that? Do you not take that statement like he actually wrote back? Because that's the way that I understand that. I haven't followed up. So if I write you, I don't follow up writing you again. Not typically, right? Usually you have something that happens in the middle, as in someone responds. And I have the feeling with the hate boner that these people have for Megalodon's foe, and they do. They all hate her. You know, Gingras probably in the top 5. I think I can say that, you know, with certainty. I'm not counting the people being sued, by the way. So, you know, suing or being sued, you know, with when I'm talking about Bruce, when I say sued or being, I'm going to limit that to Jeremy and George, because everyone else, I mean, look how many other people are being sued in there. I think he has a real hate on, Bruce does, for DUI right off the gate. I think that is big time there. You're asking about the mac and cheese thing, by the way. I saw that, you know, since that's been his big thing. I'm not going to try to break that down but essentially, the Brucey got in trouble. He wrote, if you want a good understanding of what happened actually, and you want it from Bruce's own words, but you want it entertaining, you need to check out the exchange that happened between him and Shizzy Wiznut, because Shizzy Wiznut mentioned that litigation in passing. And when he did, Bruce ended up tagging him in. Well, he wrote him back this lengthy diatribe. He tagged in all the lawyers that were on the case, on that mac and cheese case, you know, all of that stuff that was happening. He tags them all in. And he's like, hey, Shizzy, maybe you should make a statement here. And again, we're talking about not pro him. We're talking about anybody that's on the case. And Shizzy writes him a banger of a reply. It's so good. I mean, he absolutely demolishes him in that. So if you really want a good, like, listen to, if somebody could link that in the chat there for it. We had the interview where we talked about that email exchange too. You know, I want to give Shizzy Wiznut love for his channel on that. So if there's a link to him describing it, great. But if you want to, if somebody could link to the interview we did, that would be a good answer too. You know, but what is fascinating is he's complaining about a judge's action. He goes on over and over again about Megan, myself, all of us were targeting a sitting judge. Well, remember that judge, by the way. We disagreed with what he was doing, very much so. And we were right. An appeals court said that we were 100% right. Isn't that fascinating? Meanwhile, he doesn't like what a judge had to say. So he's gone after that. It's crazy, isn't it? John, thanks for the fun. South Korea has statutes dedicated to victims of World War II. Ladies, sometimes young girls, were forced into service by Japanese soldiers, called comfort girls. Johnny Somali twerked on these statues, violating and denigrating these women. They're pissed, and rightfully so. Indeed. Indeed. He needs to, I mean, he did other things too. I mean, that's terrible right there. But he did many other things too. And he wanted to play like he's saying in the United States, where you can do this, piss off a lot of people. And perhaps, even if something happens, who's going to do anything? Or maybe in the UK, where again, he might get a slap on the wrist. He's harassed shop owners. I mean, some of the stuff that's on video, there's good breakdowns of that. If you want to keep up with a guy that went too far in this cultural insanity, that's a good one. And also, Cakes, thanks for the 10 there. Bruce didn't just realize on his own that he could pro-hack Vice. I love saying that, by the way. Pro-hack Vice. DUI guy posed that question to him in one of his videos. Indeed. And you know what his response to that is? Gotta sue. By the way, here's the DUI guy. Megan mentioned that I got involved in the What the Hell's bad neighbor case for fame because I was trying to get my macaroni and cheese corruption scandal story reported. Now, what's fascinating about this is he doesn't deny that. He inserted himself into this case, and he has inserted himself into trying to recruit other people and all kinds. He's built an anti-what-the-hell's media ecosystem. Why has he done that? Well, I've been up front from the start about how I originally was in contact with YouTuber DUI guy, who is Kentucky lawyer Larry Foreman, who scheduled a live stream with me, then canceled. What an admission, by the way. This is a fascinating admission, considering you all have decided to sue him. You decided to recruit a lawyer because you thought it would look bad in a federal case, and you decided that you would take aim at Larry Foreman. Huh. That's a fascinating disclosure, isn't it? You put it in writing. You've said it before, too. So it's kind of hard to walk that one back. But yeah, you're like, oh, right there. Because I was checking out his channel, I discovered what was happening with Otter Creek. What the hell situation? I was appalled. Foreman himself and several other lawyers with YouTube channels were attacking a Florida state judge for content. Now, again, we're talking about the grudge judge. How many court cases has the grudge judge had to step down from because of what's happened? Let's play it like Sesame Street, because Bruce, Bruce, and Bruce, that's right, 3 Bruce. You should be able to count to that, BBB. Should be easy for you there. 3. An appeals court agreed to. So it's fascinating. Again, attacking. Now, that judge didn't like people talking about him, but you know what? You have the right to talk about that judge. 1 second, I got a kid ready.
I drink those.
I
drink those.
Water. You did? Let me see this. Let me look at it. I gotta look and see. Let me see real quick. Well, just a minute. I got.
It's okay. Get that off your dad.
It's good. It's good. Well, do you want to? Actually, you can drink it out of the thing. Here. Drink it out of the thing there. There you go. That's juice. Yeah.
But why do I not use a cup?
You don't need a cup. You just use because you might spill it out of the cup, but you won't spill it out of the bottle. It's got the little bottle. That's what it's there for. Hey, don't spill that. That will dye the floor. Okay.
Like purple?
Yes, it will be nasty too. It'll be very gross. So be careful with it. Okay.
Purple or black? I don't know.
It's a blackish, reddish, purpley color. Yeah.
Is it purple or red?
We'll just call it purple. Okay.
Is it purple or black on it?
Yeah, we'll just call it purple, but it's very dark. Okay.
Is it black? Is it black?
No, it's not black. We'll call it very dark purple. Yes.
It'll turn my carpet purple?
Yes, it will. Yeah, but not in a good way, in a very gross, bad way. So do not do that, okay? Okay. Love you. Oh, there's some juice. I was like, I don't like where that conversation was going about colors of like juice. It'll turn my My carpet purple, you say? No, no, it won't. It'll turn it gross is what it'll turn it to. Oh, Lord. But they were attacking a Florida state judge for content, always on Hale's side to ensure the privilege of using his content without fear of strike. He has struck several small channels that have covered him critically, even when it's fair use. Didn't Bruce strike Megalodon's foe for fair use? Haven't they all been? In fact, aren't they suing over this idea that fair use isn't allowed? Here's the really beautiful thing about the thumbnail lawsuit. This is something that he cannot understand. And none of these morons that are out there understand either. If in some weird world that could actually be won, they're screwed. Because they would be sued into oblivion. All of them would. They'd like to play that little game. They like to win some really stupid prizes. You know, they talk about defamation too. My God, man. In order to try to deflect, they have said some awful, nasty things about so many people. I mean, these people would be fucked. They don't get it. I don't get it at all. You know, it's fascinating as well. They always like to play the, oh man, everybody ensures from Hale's side. Now, you know why Hale's side? Because he's right in this. They don't like that. They don't like that at all. You know why one lawsuit was laid down? Because it was an absolute trash fire. And they would have lost. They knew it. So the lawyer that was involved was like, yo, let's get out of this unscathed if we can. That's what they did. But they pretend, again, with everything that comes up somehow in some way, them going after, again, 5 people that came on property to help somebody that lived there move away and recorded, which the police, they were there. You're going to try to hold them responsible somehow? Yeah, good luck with that shit. Thumbnail litigation, we've already talked about the problems with that. Huge problems with it. But hey, good luck with that. And then they keep making the federal case stronger with each passing day. They make it stronger because they're all too dumb to not shut their fucking mouths. And that's okay. They've done enough damage then. Hey, say whatever. They've also motivated Shara, which bravo to them, because our Shara motivated has been beautiful. It has been. I decided to help bad neighbors by supplying a motion to file pro se against federal complaint, which ended up stalling his case, preventing him from his promised steamrolling of them for 5 months. This admission right here is one of the dumbest things that he's been doubling and tripling down on. He's written it out again. Yeah. He's saying that he intentionally held up a case, not that he filed something because he knew it would be successful. Oh, no. And remember, he promised people publicly that that was actually why he was doing it. He knew that this stuff was going to be successful. But oh, no, that's not why he did it. He did it to slow down litigation. Crazy to admit that, right? Once that motion was denied, I appeared in the case, and now they can both defend against his claims and file their own claims against him coming soon. Oh, look, more threats of litigation coming soon. Yeah, have fun with that right there. You've already filed claims. I mean, just these dipshits, they've already filed litigation, thumbnail lawsuit. They've already done it. That's going to be, They're also going to run into some real problems. Again, the John Cook stuff, like you said, he keeps trying to negate John Cook. Pretend that, these 2 poor elderly people, as he describes it. The only problem is one of those people keeps saying some horrendous things about John Cook and wants us to 100% believe his client. So He also, again, if he wants to bring a lawsuit, which they keep trying to play off with the kid thing, if they want to do that, again, her own words are going to cause red flags. They're going to be like, well, her own words said that she doesn't allow this, that, or the other. And she's accused him of driving somebody right into a bottle in the shed. She said he's a liar. She said he's an alcoholic that never stopped. I mean, again, her words have damned any case with that, because you're allowed to have legit concerns. And her own words caused them. Not to mention her own words about her own actions. Popping people in the mouth or, yeah. So they're going to try that move. And it's going to be a fucking hellstorm. By the time I realized I could appear pro hoc vice, by the time he, again, like it was said before, by the time Larry Foreman mentioned it, especially for one case, Florida court to represent Hale's cyber stalking victims in this frivolous, vexatious lawsuit he filed, as well to pursue their claims against him for destroying their lives for his YouTube content. A gravy train, here's another shot at from Megan Fox, has ridden since last February under the guise of creating a story as long as it's only Hale side. I'd already become famous, and my mac and cheese story was already out there. He's famous. You know what's good about this? Thank you, Bruce, by the way. You know, he made a giant fuck up in that. You know what he just admitted to? That he's a limited purpose public figure. So when somebody calls you an ambulance chaser, Bruce, when they say that they don't think that you have any fucking clients because they think that you're probably some kind of 20 fucking cent lawyer dressed up in, you know, $10 wording. Oh man, I'm X, Y, and Z. I'm the greatest. I'm on Big Dog. When you say all of that, you say that you're famous. You've made yourself a limited purpose public figure. They're allowed to have thoughts about you. They're allowed to say things about you. In fact, you have just taken that burden and you have increased it. Because you yourself said that you're famous. You inserted yourself into this stuff. You decided to make yourself famous. Fascinating, isn't it? So he defeats his own arguments about lawsuits. He can sue. I'll tell you too. Jackass like this sues. Oh, countersuit for real. For real. Because all he has done is threaten, harass, harangue. That's all the man does, man. Threaten people all the time. So countersuits, oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. But I took steps to be admitted. The Indy, Florida, USDC, including paying admission fee. Oh man, he paid a fee, man. And appears counsel, and devoted about half of my law practice to the case pro bono. What's the other half of the law practice, Bruce? Going on fucking live streams? I mean, it's nuts, man. For real. It's absolutely nuts. While absorbing attacks and threats. And being regularly mocked and defamed on full-length live streams by Megan Fox and Umbrella Guy, both of whom have made a fortune. By the way, as I said before today, if you would like to help myself propagate, if you'd like me to it's so funny. He's like, you propagate a storyline. If you'd like to propagate a storyline called Making a Fortune with Tug, what a moron, man. If you would like to help me make a fortune, make sure to click that like, share us everywhere. And if you'd like to go further, breadsticks are always welcome. This guy, again, attacks and threats. I mean, this dude sits around in live stream after live stream, going after people, talking all the smack in the world, pretending that it's all good to go. It's all gravy, baby. But if you say anything, it's attacks. It's threats. I mean, fucking clown, man. And defamed? Really? You know, right now we're talking about you writing a letter to a guy that is one of Megan Fox's friends in order for you not just to quote unquote introduce a case. You're trying your best again to drive a wedge, and you admitted, like I said, to contacting David Gingras. You admitted to reaching out to that guy. And that guy, you noted what kind of piece of garbage he is. Good job with that, right? John, thanks for 5. Boohoo Deuce definitely has NP disorder. I can't comment on that because of mental health there, but I would definitely say that worry about him sometimes. John, thanks for 5 more gifted memberships, by the way. Thank you, man. Saw those roll in. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. Rhea Rice said, thanks for the 5 there. Did you notice the same person said Shizzy had gone over to the fleas in your chat yesterday and Megan's today trying to stir shit? Yeah, I did notice that statement there. You know, I just, I thought, well, you know, Shizzy's definitely not done that. It's funny because these are people, again, I've been on Shizzy's live stream, goofed off with him a bit. That is so far from me. But yeah, I did notice that. I thought that was kind of fascinating. So John, thanks for the 5. Tug, you've been a kind of one-trick pony lately. Have you done anything about Peanut the squirrel? Might have actually affected the election. With the information that's come out about that, there's not gobs of information. And yeah, I cover one thing. That's pretty much you. And you know me, you've been around here for a long time. I like to cover one thing. That's really what I'd like to do. You know why? Because you can cover 15 things adequately, or you can cover one thing well. That's the way I look at it. And the problem, you know, in the past, we would assign investigators. All they would do, for example, I like to go back and I like to read books by people who were beat reporters for mafia, for example. They would cover this one thing, and many of them would cover one person. There was one guy that wrote a book on gas pipe. His name, you know, his mafia. He was one of the mafia hierarchy. He actually researched this guy 5 years. He knew this guy inside and out, everything about him. It's fascinating stuff. But in the past, I mean, you know, and some people can cover multiple things at once. For me, it creates noise. It's not even that. I'll be real honest with you. The other stuff starts to bore me. I get bored with other things because it's like patter or filler, you know, because that one thing has, and especially some cases are big enough to do that. You don't find a lot, like if I were interested in Diddy right now, for example, just to say, there would be quite a bit in that, but this hit before that. Now, there will be a lot, like if Diddy goes to trial and everything that comes up with that, that'll be, I think, really interesting to see. But as far as coverage, I'd rather be versed on a subject than to hit it a little. But the Peanut the squirrel thing is something I think that does matter. Thing is, the amount of information that has come up on that has not been, it moves at the speed of justice. You know how slow things are. Like this trial, for example, this trial won't actually come up, the federal one, this the federal part of this, for 5 months. So it's slow there. And I know you meant that. Again, when John asked this, means this in the nicest way too. Just asking, hey, have you seen this or that? But yeah, as far as me, you know, one thing really consumes my thinking process. That's the way my mind works. You know, I'd be a great investigative reporter as long as I could cover one story. Yeah. In the past, they used to let you do that. These days, that's the beautiful thing about YouTube. Now you can just dedicate all your time to learning about one thing. And then when it's done, you can find something else that's interesting. I don't know. And maybe what you do in it too, you know, you can impact it by understanding the truth. It's kind of like, again, going back to the herd situation. I don't know, 4 fucking years of my life went to that. And I don't feel it was wasted. I feel that it was necessary, because when we went through all of that, we found every piece of the puzzle. We put it together. I mean, right now, like, for example, here, the stuff with Shara, if people wouldn't have noticed what happened with Shara, it was one exchange that really set all of this thing in motion. And it was highlighted. And I think Shara, I'm sure she saw how much they were aiming, but I wonder if she knew the extent of it, how bad they were calling her a liar and attacking her and stuff. And, you know, and then what she's put out there, I'm not saying that it would have impacted the truth on it, but I wonder if it would impact the reach, because them, for all their bluster, had given Shara 23 subs, I think it was. And Shara had some very fascinating information. But for whatever reason, I'm not going to speculate on, they decided for her, couldn't get her subscribers. Maybe that's because they considered her a wild card. I don't know. But it's been there anyway. I spent a lot of time on that. But I wanted to answer that right because I appreciate you, John. You know, you're a good dude. AJ Stone, thanks for the 22 months. To your good fortune, Tug. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, man. Iron Rabbit, thanks for 5 Tug. Sorry, it's only a drop in the million. Enough drops can cause a flood. Thank you. On the way to my million. Thank you. All right, thanks for the 2. Small fortune. Thank you for the contribution. Small fortune contributions. John, too. Thank you. 5 more gifted memberships. Appreciate that. You know what I like about John, too? Like, some people I know don't, they don't see an answer. They see it in the name. Like, John's been really good about exchanges, brings up interesting cases, you know, but also brings up interesting thoughts. We appreciate that, man. Done it for a long time. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships too, brother. AJ, what's up, AJ Stone? Thank you for the 10 gifted memberships too. Thank you, my man. I'm gonna hit a couple more of these, and then I'm gonna move forward to John too. Thanks for that. There, apparently, Diddy influencers are going to the door asking YouTubers and TikTokers that they're paid to do bad Diddy stories. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna have to look that up and see who they're saying again. You know, because that might get interesting. That might be something to really understand and to find out about. For sure, because that sounds crazy. Because that intimidation, you know. I'd be curious too if they're aiming just at women, you know, to try to silence women versus women and men. Puzzler, thanks for the 5. I'm really enjoying treasure videos. What the hell has been showing a lot lately. It's nice to see them having more fun and success. And Tug and Megan are on the case. Yeah, that's another thing. You know, when these people hate on folks like us, you know who they start to leave alone? Those folks. They leave them alone a little more. At least they give them a moment. Like, they don't give them a lot in real life, though. But at least, you know, when you're talking about it, you're not taking the brunt of things alone. It sucks to feel like you stand alone. You know, and I'm not talking about you guys, like you all stand with people. I'm talking about feeling like, as far as people picking up the microphone, feeling like you stand alone. We'll hit 3 more. Thanks for the 7 months. Hey, Tug, hope you and your family are doing good. We are doing great. Thank you, too. I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate that for sure. You know, we are. Actually, I'm feeling really good going into the holidays. Vanessa, thanks for 5. Tug, sorry. John meant Diddy, not Diddy. Yeah, I knew what he meant, though. I did definitely know what he meant with that. I figured he was trying to get around the censor bot because it may censor that name. I don't know if it does or not. It may have kept him from typing it in. John, did it keep you from typing it in? And daily dysfunction, thanks for two. Does that make me complicit? Yes, you're a complicit professional too. Okay, let's finish this thing real quick. I'm all over the place, but still. You notice too, he always points out that they're my clients. Fox and that umbrella guy profit from Hale's cyberstalking under the guise of journalism. Yeah, under the guise of. When have you ever heard of a public stalker of private victims? By the way, you know, he said he made himself famous off of this. He had already, look at his wording, okay? When you look at this, he had already become famous and his story was out there. So he had already become famous. He notes that on his own. Yeah. By the time this rolls around, he already became famous. How did he become famous? Well, he became famous because he was representing these people. Okay, well, if he's famous in that, doesn't it logically make sense that these people he's calling quote unquote private victims, they are actually limited purpose public figures. They were out there before they stepped in. Again, they brought in a PR team to try to, I think there's a few reasons they've done that, but one of them is try to mitigate the damage, not just with their words have caused and their actions, because my God, some of the statements that they made are absolutely just batshit crazy. But on top of that, I think they proved that they had made themselves not private figures. Oh no, they had decided to try to go to war with this person and ruin them. And when they did, again, they pushed themselves out to the forefront. They were indeed limited purpose public figures. How did he become famous otherwise? Huh. This is unprecedented, he says. Fox and Umbrella Guy are complicit. Yeah, the threats. One day, like I said, this dumb fuck will sue us. It is inevitable. I can see it now. And I will not be threatened by you, Bruce. I've made that very clear. You will not threaten me off of covering something. That is another reason that I enjoy covering this case, because I will not be intimidated by these 2-bit fucking hustlers trying to run me off of something when I know what the truth of it is. They can't run me off the truth. I've talked about it plenty. They can try to dress it up in any way they want. They can play games of pretend. Meanwhile, they can try to bind people like Shara under legal privilege. Can't talk about the truth, Shara, because you're bound by legal privilege. Why? Because you're afraid of what she knows. She knows what they did. She's talked about it. I mean, the stuff she dropped already. Holy God. Of course, they wanted to shut her up. Like I said, I'm not going to be scared away by people that, they're like screaming at Jeremy Hales and then half their live streams, by the way, buy our dildo rocks. No, thank you. I'm not doing it. I'm going to talk about what I see in this case. And I'm not going to be threatened away from it. And I love their whole, we never, you know what he doesn't like too? He doesn't like the fact that we started talking about him flagging down channels. He was like, I never flagged down channels. Really? You never got anybody to flag them down? Because that statement you made to Shara sure was interesting. Or by the way, Bruce, are you saying that's fake too? Why don't you go on the record and call her a liar for it? Why don't you go on the record and say that wasn't real, like the PR team out there has been implying about everything she's put out? Why don't you say that? Say it publicly. Say everything's fake. I fucking dare you to do it, man. I dare you to do it. Oh, I would love it. Because like I said, it's going to motivate. It's motivating her so much. You can't sit there and call somebody a liar and then be by the way, you can't say anything back because you're bound by privilege. No, fuck all that. I write this at risk of becoming content fodder. to further mock me and my clients. Definitely laughing at your stupid, for sure. I'm allowed to laugh at stupid, too. As this has been the case when I have written to other YouTube channels in hopes they cover the story more objectively, see Shizzy Wiznut, who's fond of writing letters to me, to read on his streams that mock me and my clients and showcase what he clearly believes is clever and colorful use of language. Not, yeah. Oh, you so owned him there, man. Not. Oh my God. Every time. You know, he writes. What's fascinating is he adds people in to letters. You know, Shizzy, he wrote Shizzy a letter. Here's the thing. He made contact with Shizzy. Shizzy wrote him back and laughed about it publicly. He can do that. He demanded that he make a statement about the mac and cheese thing. And he was dumb enough to add all these other people into it. That's funny as hell. That amuses me to this day. So yeah, yeah, definitely. That is funny stuff. But he's butthurt about it. If you give me a call, you think people want to call you, by the way? You know why? Because this also, you know also that Dave Neal lives in Tennessee, right? That's a one-party consent state, baby. I'm going to tell you that. So you want to have calls and plot and defame, you better be careful because people will record you, Brucey. They will record you. What the fuck messed up stuff you're doing. I think you'll realize that not only am I furthest thing from Gingras as a lawyer, but unlike his case and client, mine are on the right side. Please check out the coverage on the channels reporting the true story. By the way, we're not allowed to cover the channel. We're not allowed to be that, right? We're not allowed to cover what they say. We're not allowed to cover the story itself. We're not allowed to cover Hale's side of things. The true story. Yeah, PR, you dumb fuck, man. PR. They admit it. Oh, we're not PR? Yeah. Remember the excuse, by the way, for the website. So they have a website out there. It says they are PR. They made this themselves. You know what their excuse was for that? It wasn't ready for public consumption. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. It just kills me, man. But them, they can cover, right? Which is that a YouTuber, Jeremy Hales, has fabricated storylines using innocent, powerless people's lives to sell his entertainment for profit. Yeah. Yeah, It's fascinating. Really, did he create the storyline about the pew pew being pulled out of a pocket? And your clients, plural, one of them hiding said pew pew, both of them definitely one lying to the police, the other one misleading the fuck out of the police. And also one of those clients talking about shooting somebody in the face and feeding them alligators. Is that a fabrication? Because that's fascinating. Everybody's a liar except, right? He CCs these channels into. I guess that's our anti-what-the-hales media ecosystem, right? Two Lees, Milltown, and Ray Bone Crusher. He notes them there. He CC'd them on this letter. You know, it's supposed to be a good faith letter. Right here, this is the kind of decision that I did not talk about his letters for a while. But you know what made me decide to talk about it? I saw he CC'd the two L's. And when he CC'd them, I decided to look at the channel. And I found that he was all over it. Because I had no idea who the fuck that was. Because I really didn't give a shit. He'd been sitting on there for months talking about fucking just bullshit. They had been lying. Those fucking PR fucking, I mean, they've been lying forever. and tagged him into an email that he sent me supposedly in good faith. He did the same thing to this person here. That's not good faith, man. That is not good faith at all. That's jacked up. That's him propagating a storyline. He's propagating a storyline in which he is, I'm going to use his own quote unquote logic. He has quote unquote fabricated a storyline using innocent, powerless storage hunters' lives to sell as entertainment for profit. How's that sound? I mean, if they're all powerful and everything, I mean, he managed to delay a case for 5 months. He brags about it. So, can't be all powerful, right? You're a serious commenter. Your coverage on Juniors is spot on. I couldn't agree more. He's a fool. He's been digging his hole deeper with his appeals and YouTube statements. He could easily pursue the very same issue on appeal they wanted to dismiss, and so all the subsequent fees were not they're doing in a straightforward facts, law, argument sends the undisguised vitriol versus the judge. So concerned to me that someone of your caliber. Now, it's fascinating he says this stuff, and yet I've seen some things just said about a judge that you have some vitriol for. I'm going to say I got a certain feeling from that. So, yeah. It's a concern to me that someone of your caliber may form a false negative impression of me as a person or a lawyer based on some lies or even flippant remarks made by Megan Fox to you. I've attached the macaroni and cheese story. It is a big scandal involving a now federal judge, but he can't talk about that. Because you know that's quote unquote attacking a federal judge. He can't. Dave can't cover this. I must protect him from that. Because like I said, we've been told over and over again that's attacking judges, right? That's how it works. That's what Brucey told me. Sorry, Dave, man. I know you wanted to look into it and stuff, but it involves a now federal judge. Sorry. Letter itself said, talking about have a go. Here's a link. And below my signature is a synopsis of What the Hell Matter, written by Megan Fox, former foil turned new friend Shara. So he takes that shot at Shara. Shara, by the way, I hope you noticed that too. He ended this reaching out to somebody, never heard of the case, never heard of you or anything, and he's attacking you. And he lied. Again, like Megan, myself, I don't use the word sharp, except right here I did. I find it distasteful. And that is because it is drilled into my mind. I use profanity like a sailor sometimes, okay? So I'm not saying anything about what you say or don't say. What I'm saying is my mama was like, no fart, Joe. Not allowed to say fart. It was worse than any other profane word out there. My mom, it wasn't. You know, it was like, it was wind or, something again. That one word, no. Mm-mm. And talk about Joe and a word like sharp, it just that would no. My mama hear me saying that, as an adult, profanity, but I'm telling you, she hear me dropping that. There are the two words that would probably she'd be like, wow, and go into a whirlwind of karate. She would either, again, just quoting there, shart, or there's a certain GD. She would be very not happy with. So those are two words I can think of right off the bat. I'm not saying that she enjoys any other. I don't profane around my mama anyway. I respect my mother. I don't profane around her. I can't say I've never done that because I've been upset, but I don't profane around my mama if I can, ever help, and I respect her. In fact, it's her birthday in a couple of days. This is funny. I'm going to tell this real quick there. So my mama she's a very nice person, helps out a lot of people. You know, she's just always been a nice person. We decided to go get her a gift certificate, and I took the girls over there, right? And I said, you know, what would be really funny is if we get her a gift certificate and it's her age, you know, that would be great. That'd be a great number, right? So I handed my my card to the lady up there, and the lady's like, so what is her age? How much will it be for? And the kiddo blurts out, 250. And I got laughing, so I couldn't stop. So I guess she's having a great gift certificate there. I was like, man, but it's my mom, you know. The mom's good people, so she deserves it. But I thought that was funny. She's like, 250. I was like, good Lord, girl, how old do you think we all are? 250 indeed. All right. Now, there's another thing that's come up with this. All right. I'm going to show this. This is actually quite new. Quite new. You haven't seen this yet. So, Megalodon's foe has been written more times by Brucey than I think she realized. One of those is this. Check this out. This is new, by the way. You tell me what this is all about. He's writing her, and he notes just out of the blue that there's a company that does depositions for free and paid later if and when there's a recovery or statement. So cost is no object for our depositions. Thanks. Now this, if I'm not mistaken about the time frame, this is when they're talking about suing and talking about, you know, going after Megalodonus, and she's talking about, you know, they don't have any money. They're not going to be able to come after me and fuck with me. This is a threat for deposing her. That's how I've read this with the time frame and everything. You know, during the time that she was saying, leave me the fuck alone, Bruce. You're stalking me. Leave me alone. Yeah, you know, during all of that, yeah, he was writing her this stuff. He was making even more threats. They still go back to the guillotine thing, by the way. She says, oh, man, they got to run the gauntlet. And they're like, oh, my God, a guillotine. You know, they think the gauntlet is they think running the gauntlet is a guillotine. They don't understand. And they have made that lie a reality. These morons, they started going on about Lego defamation and all this other shit. And of course, he's dropping her letters. In the middle of, again, she's like, leave me alone. If you want to write me to serve me, that's the only time that you can serve me here. You know, you're not sending people to my house to fuck me. You're not going to harass me in my home. He was still writing her letters. He was still implying threats again. Oh, man, there's companies out there. Those companies, they would do that deposition. And then later, they could recover costs. So that wouldn't cost us a penny. Creepy shit, man. I believe there's more. But this right here, I thought was very telling. Very telling. By the way, speaking of people that have been targeted, Shara had a few things to say too after the salvo. Man, there's about 1,500. I forgot totally to. I apologize. This is my fault. I forgot to tag my video today, so it may have told some of you that I was live. It may have not told some. I don't know how that went, but it didn't do it like it was supposed to. But that was totally my bad. YouTube doesn't need reasons to do that, but I forgot to tag in things where people would find it. And so I'm going to pull up the Shara thing in just a minute. Let me catch up real fast. Here. John, thanks for the 5 there. LOL, my dad would call Deuce a $20 lawyer and a $10 suit. Indeed, indeed, indeed. John, thanks for the 10. I've had lots of comments deleted. Yes, I tried to swerve my words to avoid censorship. As I've stated in other comments, I'm debating deleting at least my CC info or maybe my whole account. Well, I say this, not, again, this has nothing to do with Super Chess or anything either. I'm reading a Super Chat, but this has nothing to do with it. You've been around here a long time. You're not afraid to have a conversation, and you don't personalize it. And I like that. You don't fucking walk lockstep. If you disagree with something, you say it. And like I say, I appreciate that about you. So this battleground right here, they remove comments all the time. We censor words and everything else, but this is where the fight is, right here on this platform. This is where you win the fight. We can go to places like Rumble. They can let us talk.Maybe it'll grow into a battlefield one day where you can actually win too. Maybe. Although they have their own problems too. I'm not going to get into those. I have my own problems with that. But right now, the eyes are here. The fight is here. And the fights are about a lot of things. Censorship is one of them, for sure. You know, people would ask me, like when we were coming heard, why I would refer to her as that certain Aquaman starlet. It's because they were unlisting her name for the longest time. It was censored. You know, I do a lot of exploration on whether or not you can talk about something. Diddy, that, for example, with John, that's a topic that if you look, not many YouTubers, some are so big, like Emily D. Baker's big enough, props to her, by the way. She's big enough that when she talks about it, her stuff is found by her audience. It's big enough. A person like me, though, would get buried in the water because I'm not a trusted source, you know? I also, you know, places like Twitter, I've talked enough smack about Elon Musk during like the debt trial that I imagine there are probably things in the algo that don't allow you to to go to the top on that either. But I think the battle is here, man. You know, so I understand the frustration, man. I got frustrated for a year having to do that shit. It was so frustrating. Everything I did demonetized. I get it, dude. I do. But you know what? It was a fight we had to have. It was. And it was a fight because information had been suppressed. Mainstream media would not cover anything in that trial. And that fight, it happened here. It happened on Twitter and it happened here. And you know what? People won. Now, I'm not saying I won anything because I cover what a lot of people find too. But I use my mic to try to get that out, just like you use your voice to get it out there. And if they convince us that we have to walk away because, you know, again, they suppress certain things. We just figure out what they suppress and we work around it. And we just keep working around it. We keep covering what's important. And maybe one day we can change something. Maybe we can make a better world that my little girls can grow up in. You know why? Because I want my little girls, if there's ever a need for justice in their lives, I want them to have it, no questions asked. Because I want a world where false accusers are punished. Because I want anyone that made threats or anyone that, you know, anyone that breaks laws, like again, if they're ever threatened or if anything ever happens, if they need help or justice, they can go out and people will, but we have to fight that fight. We have to fight these lunatics. And I think enough people, they've been doing that. And we're winning anyway. I'm getting on a rant though, but I appreciate you, John. Also, thanks for 550 memberships there too. Thank you. Damn, John, I didn't see this. Didn't see that. I didn't see this too. John, thank you for a 50 there. Many subjects are simply protected and you can't talk about them. Yes. I mentioned NZ sheep farmers who formed FART, Farmers Against a Ridiculous Taxation. All such deleted. Talked about Amish farmer. Amos Miller, deleted. Yeah, well, you saw Megan talk about what's in our food. But that's become that's also become a big enough fight because so many people are loud about it that it's gone to governmental levels. People can't avoid it. So, yeah, like I said, I understand. It frustrates me too, brother. It does. I get mad about it sometimes. Misbehaving, things for the 6. Storing Shara is devastating the fragile ecosystem. Oh yeah, we're gonna show you something in just a second. We'll get there. A couple more here. Travis, thanks for the 5 there. This lawyer is a joke. Doing defamation against a lot of y'all. The Hales are good in federal case. I've been in federal case, and you're yes, indeed. Defamation, tortious interference is a difficult thing, as we've said before, but they have laid the groundwork. They have given them a lot. And as far as defamation is concerned, man, some of the stuff they've done, some of the stuff Shara's noting that they've done too, ooh, man, it's crazy. Hey, the little one's coming. Give me 1 second. Hey, what's up, kiddo? Oh, is your tablet? It didn't die on you?
No, it did die.
Okay. Well, here, bring it to me.
If you turn it off, or it turns off by itself.
Yeah, sometimes I'll get
I
it.
have a bucket full of things that you need.
All right.
I got this.
Okay, well, bring me the tablet.
And the bucket, because it has.
I was telling them that Gigi's birthday is very soon.
Yeah, just when the stuff.
I see what she says. Her age is and stuff. Come here.
Just when the stuff in
Hey,
here in my iPad.
Hey, how old is Gigi again?
I don't know.
You said 250 the other day. Is she really 250?
I don't know.
You don't know now? She doesn't know anymore. Hey, I'll look at the bucket in a minute. Here's your thing.
This bucket is cool. This thing. So do you want to check it now?
I'll check it out in a few minutes, okay?
This too.
Okay, we'll look at it in a few minutes, okay? All right.
When you
I got a little bit.
Stream,
Yeah, I'll be done soon.
Go to my room and say, you have to
I will.
live stream us.
I will, for sure. We'll look through the bucket together. She's like, I'm not saying that again. I'm sure everybody laughed. John, thanks for the 10 here, too. My mother died on her birthday, 10/1/2019. She would have been 85. And she was born in 1934. I'm so glad she didn't know about the beer bug. She would have been terrified. Yeah, that's the same thing with my grandma. If that would have happened, my grandma would have been just... Miss them, though. You very much miss them. Oh, I gave me a feels for a second there. Give me a second there. Oh, my grandma was so nice. Yeah, let me pull up this Shara thing. Like I've told before, my grandma, I remember being a little kid. My grandma, she would get up on a footstool and step up on top of the refrigerator. And I'd watch her around the corner and I would think, God, I want to be tall like my grandma. And I didn't realize that my grandmother was under 5 feet tall. I never realized when I got older. I'm clocking well over 6 feet here. I'm clocking my shoes on and stuff. I'm clocking into 6'6", and I was like, dang, my granny. But she was a mountain when I was little. It's so funny to think back to that, though. Okay, so Shara, the other day, she made these 2 comments, and then she makes more. All right, so she did also, just to note, she did talk about, and I do want to include this statement. I'm not going to make a lot of comment on it. I just want to include this statement here again, because people have been talking about her deleting things. And she said, at the start of when I began looking into the case, I had a brief period of time when JC, that would be John Cook, contacted me in Messenger as I worked on MP's case. I had not read through all the messages at that time, as town hall was my focus, and I learned about MP's case. Soon after MP began sharing my messenger messages with people like Marla, many others became public and published in videos. When I blocked JC over a year ago, I deleted my brief chat as a result and left. I was cautious of him. I told MP I did not want to work on this case. In the messages seen in the video with my deleted messages, I stated I did not have Jeremy Hale's number, questioned him for wanting it. I may have screenshot this a year ago before leaving chat, so I'd have to search through some points. Also, not revisit these chats until now in the last couple of weeks. She's coming up the steps.
I do something to my game mode.
Here, let me see it.
I turn off the sound and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, did you figure out the controls on it?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, if it says on, that turns on the music. If you hit the off, that'll turn it off all the way. Yeah. That's cool, huh? And the sound effects too. So one's for the music that plays in the background, and one's for sound effects.
What's sound effect?
That's like when you move something and it makes noise, like it's like or whatever, Or you know how when Pac-Man gobbles up something, he's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sound effect. But the music's just the sound,
What does it do? How do you do the sound effects?
Well, when you leave the sound effects on and play your game, take it upstairs and play your game. Leave the sound effects on and play your game, and you'll see what they sound like without the music. Okay. Then you'll understand the difference. Yeah.
I turn off the music.
Yeah.
Let me play my game.
Okay.
I'm not using the music.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, she found her controller stuff with a game thing she was playing. She's like, oh man, I can turn the sound effects off and still keep my or you turn the music and still keep my sound effects. So anyway, she's saying here, what she's saying with this, just to note, is when she left chats with John Cook, she deleted all of her messages. She was like, I'm out of this mess. I don't want to be part of it. I don't want them leaking my messages and stuff like that. Now they've taken this and they've tried to weaponize, and they've tried to say that everything was fake. In fact, actually, let's pull this first and then we'll talk about it. They said this has been their answer to it. So they said, pathetic attempts to win over the germ. Short. Again, they use that over and over. Ugh. Your editing skills need some. Remember, they were supposed to be on the same side. This is how people, it's all or nothing. You either back their play or not. But your editing skills need some fine tuning. Number one, John doesn't speak like that. I'm in control. LOL. Yeah, no. So this actually sounds, we were talking about the other night, how some of those statements, are you telling me that someone else might be controlling his account? Because there's only a couple of people that could have been controlling it. It'd be John Cook or it'd been Preston. Huh. So that's fascinating. And if that's the case, if you're telling me that someone like Preston, if that, when that stuff gets verified as real, and you're going to say, oh man, that's not him, then who is it? 2, this is supposedly a private message with Shara, of which she shows nothing being said above or below it. Yeah, of course, you're supposed to dox your entire conversations, right? She talked about how if there's anything, first of all, she said with this, she didn't have a lot of exchanges with him, but apparently you're supposed to dox entire conversations. You know what would happen? Like they're talking to LP and she mentioned something like health or anything like that. They would have an absolute shit fit about it. So there's always going to be something wrong, right? It made it look like a Facebook post, which it is not fake. A post, it actually looks like a messenger. If you've looked at them, they look like Facebook Messenger posts. They don't look like Facebook posts. That's the dumbest fucking thing ever. They have John Cook's name above them. They have the inbox symbol and everything else beside them. There's no like or dislike ratio at the bottom. It looks like a messenger post. It may be a Facebook Messenger post, but John barely spoke to her, never liked her. And she said she only had a little bit to do there. Clearly cut and pasted together. She never said, by the way, I'm putting in every single statement they've ever made. She took statements that he made that were defamatory, damaging ones. She never said, I'm going to dox health or anything else. No, she said, I'm going to cover pertinent information that showcases that these are the concerns I have. She's not out there trying to dox, again, health information or something. She's trying to cover things that are, again, pertinent. Very big difference. Very big difference. And they would know that too, and they do. This is cyber stalking on her part. Doxing private. Yeah, no, that's actually not it. You know, you come to somebody and you're talking about plots to go in and defame and destroy people's lives. You're talking about putting up their phone number so they will be harassed. You're talking about somebody saying that they would puke them in the face, feed them to alligators. Yeah, that's not. These people are dumb as fuck, man. I'd say it's like talking to a rock, but a rock would be a more interesting, it'd be a more interesting and stimulating conversation. Unless I bought it from them, then it would probably be freaking shaped like a dildo. No. It's highly notable. Thanks, Germ, giving her. Man, he said thank you. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, you're all violating stalking statutes. Oh, yeah. So, blah, 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 blah. Another ill attempt, seeking attention. If he was in danger, fear, he wouldn't harass, stalk, and filming neighbors, period. Yeah. Yeah. If people are threatening you, want to harm you and stuff, and the police say, hey, the only way you're going to be taken seriously is if you prove it happened through film, you wouldn't film, right? Okay. All right. So she decided again she would answer things because that's what she's doing there. You know, she's actually put up different statements through here too. You can actually see her discussing things. You know, let me actually see if I can zoom in on this one. I don't remember what this is. There's another closed one too. Let me make sure there's nothing in that closed part. You know. She also pointed out that the Marla, you know, involved. She pointed this out too. I thought this was fascinating. She was like, yep, look who's all in this. You know, I believe angels sent me here. More than one reason. Please bear with me. God's works mysterious. Ah, Marla. That's kind of fascinating. But also, give me 1 minute. Roll back down here. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. I noticed that a few of them expanded and I didn't expand them all. She noted, you know, on the 21st, she said to 2F1, it's not a golden egg, it's a golden key. And I do not flip-flop, nor am I a mole. In fact, I've never left a case before until this case. I had concerns from the start, documented. Why are you saying I got records from quote-unquote people behind the scenes? I got nothing but run-on blah, blah from people behind the scenes. So she's getting run around. And that's fascinating. You know, when you have somebody that's trying to investigate something and they're asking for a record, they're asking what happened. She's calling it blah, blah. You know, I ask for information, I get blah, blah behind the scene. Every record I have in this case was collected by and paid for by me. That's 100% too. You know, they complained. Again, they had just now gotten all the records. So obviously that makes it correct. You know, and they're public records. She may have had to go in and request records from someplace. But yeah, you know, for 100, even if, like I said, you know, do or don't like or whatever, you know 100% that she was out there collecting freaking documentation. We've had plenty of people say, Madam Mayor talked about the just voluminous requests that she had to deal with. We've seen her asking for them publicly, you know, talking about the sheriff and more. So, I mean, again, this stuff has been stated. It's been stated many times. Oh, documentation, she has it. I 100% believe she collected it on her own. I understand that too. There are a handful of people that I know that will pull up a document for me. I've ran across a few newer ones, like I say, a Max Lab, that goes in, adds every page, just make sure when they come up, collects them from itself. Also, it can save costs, which is beautiful. So props to Max Lab for that, so you're not having to drop money on accounts or anything. Like, that's actually great. But yeah, I understand going out and getting documents, verifying documents yourself. No. I get that. I wouldn't get a document from just some random anybody. And I definitely wouldn't get it from people. Like, I get the feeling that's another thing that makes me feel like we have some confirmation on trust issues, because documentation that even if they would have had it, it seems like she was, documents that they may have had and would be willing to give to her. She seems to say that she's collected her own on that too. Like I said, that seems like a fascinating statement, So stop pretending I was part of your team. I chose not to be. It's weird. They keep going back and forth. You were never one of us. Oh, by the way, you were one of us. They keep going back and forth with that. And she keeps calling out. She's like, I never was part of y'all. I'm not dropping this story as you command. That's the whole thing. We are all getting, all of us, Shara. We are being told we have to drop this. Only us, by the way. Only us. People that want to travel to Otter Creek to drive around and talk about George's vehicle and what she's doing in Otter Creek. They don't say a fucking word about that, do they? Huh? Why not? Well, because they're doing it, obviously. I mean, shit. But the rest of us, it's fascinating. I don't see a lawyer out there decrying those actions. I don't see him publicly decrying that, saying that's too far, because of course he can't. Because if he admits they go too far, if he admits that, first of all, they'll probably dump every fucking message he's ever sent to him, which that would be fascinating. One day, baby. One day, baby. I'm advocating for the victims, fully hearted. I won't be intimidated by bullying thugs. Fun times. She's commenting on the video stuff here. My commentary and question. BBB. Why is your 2L Eco PR stating publicly that when JC allegedly pulled his silver black G from his own pocket, July 3rd, 2024, quote, he was arrested because Jeremy Hales set him up. Jeremy Hales was not present. Jeremy Hales did not flash a big G. He was not involved. Have you reviewed the entire case file on the incident? No one at all, other than John Cook, pulled a big G. No one had missing G's, new mystery G's, sold G's, and hidden G's other than John Cook. That is very true, by the way. How's Jeremy Hales? Why are they even bringing him up? They had to make a conspiracy when he's not even fucking around. Okay. And if you go into the pattern of the suspect, G's are pulled out of his pocket in multiple incidents where no other G was involved. How will you turn 4 cookies on your plastic plate into 5 cookies? That is a very good question. Presto manifesto. That's how they do it. They write a lot of documents. They swear a lot of words. But when it comes to truth, that's something we've never heard. I'm a poet. I never knew it. There's another comment down there here. Let's see. She just commented on something. Then she also stated on the 24th, she said, 2L1 and 2 are accusing Jeremy of stalking. And the reason she puts that up there, again, is because these platforms, they don't like certain words. In fact, I have this feeling that I am shadow banned on Twitter yet again because I will call out, I'm going to call them PDF files here. but I won't call them out by that word. I'll call them out straight up by what they are on Twitter. And I think I got shadow banned again over there. You get traffic from the people. I think I'm what do they call that? Ghost banned, where as far as larger conversations, people don't find you. The people who follow you can find you, but other people don't find you. So I think I got ghost banned for talking about that. But she does that, so she makes sure she doesn't, give them any reason to flag her down. And she's always done that. I mean, it probably is a smart move. But the other day is 2 lies. Wait, sorry, I jumped ahead. Are accusing him of stalking them for driving to his own home on his own street. That's right. He's driving on his own fucking street, by the way. And you have people that don't even live in this area being like, Jeremy's out here stalking. It's like, fuckers, you don't even live here. You don't have business here. You decided to just roam around, looking for people like George, pretending like out of the blue every van was him. But the day 2 Lies stalked his home, that included stalking George and the entire town of Otter Creek. 2L1 seems to be busy, etc., behind the scenes as she publicly threatens Jeremy and George live on her anti-what-the-hales defamatory hate show. Indeed, she's pretending she didn't see the alligator text. Oh, now, actually, Shara, now she's playing at the it's all fake. That's what the new spin is, ladies. Yes. Enjoy that one. I'm sure that'll get an answer. Maybe she was advised to ignore it. I guess the PR has no clue how to handle the truth. Oh no, they're just like, it doesn't exist. It's not real. It's not real. It's the same way. Remember the sign thing? What did they do? They hire a fucking person with a document to say, oh, we got our own expert. They never planned on putting into the courtroom just to be like, look at this. This is the real. And they all point to that. Some of these morons still do, pretending that there's not clips of this guy talking about how he can, figure out trauma from your childhood from your writing. I mean, come on, man. So do that. Hey, I was in the live stream the other day when they went by the schoolhouse. I told the chat it was considered stalking. The chat yelled at me and told them to look up what stalking was. They said I was crazy. She was like, I see the same thing. 2Ls are not residents of the town. They stalked Jeremy and George to their home, dominated their own street where they live, stalked their entire town, appears to be unstable, very threatening, hateful toward Jeremy Hales, long before they became eco PR, and appears to be pursuing multiple avenues to harm his entire life. Yes, indeed. They were talking about, again, canvassing the freaking neighbors, looking for stories, potentially spreading them, spreading stories online. I mean, again, remember the sign thing? That was about going and trying to damage and defame within a town. Well, what is this shit? Do you want to join a lawsuit? I mean, swear. Let's see. I think that's the only other ones up there so far. I have a feeling we'll get more, though. I just have this feeling. Again, I don't know. I encouraged Shara in a brief message to be like, yo, because she had been freaked out about all the stuff that had been happening. She's talking about, being afraid. I mean, I get that. I worried, especially with crazy people from other stuff. I worried about the safety of people around me. I worry about my safety, because I'm strapped, but I worry about people around me. I also always worry. This is something I worry about. And I don't even have this to the level of like a Jeremy or a George do. I worry that some crazy asshole out there is going to motivate someone that I can't recognize to try to do something horrible. I got a kid coming. I'll pick that thought up in a minute. Hey, what's up, kiddo?
Playing iPad and it has kids and it has music.
Oh, that is very cool. That is very cool.
Is
Take
that
it up. Hey, show it to all your Care Bears. Go set them up. Maybe they can do that.
Can't get about the brand new Care Bears.
Yeah, we can't get out those are Christmas presents. You just know they're there because you saw them. You cannot get them out, but you can get the ones you have out. You can get out that one. That one's yours. That one's yours, not for Christmas. That is yours for now. Yeah, that one's yours.
Keep it down here so I don't lose it because
Well,
sometimes my bedroom and sometimes sinks a bit sometimes slide down.
oh yeah, they do. Yeah, they slide beside your bed. Okay, well, you can set it in the chair there. All right. Actually, hey, why don't you set it in the chair in the living room? You know where the fireplace is. You could set it in the big chair right there. Oh,
It's
okay. You can set it here. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna play and do my beautiful music.
Okay, we'll go play with your beautiful music. We'll have fun with it.
You mean the K game?
Yeah, I know on the game. I know what you're talking about. All right. Hey, take it upstairs though.
You look at my music.
Yeah, you can show it to me in a few minutes.
Is it good music?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Any music and sing along you create are awesome. She's too cute. She's got Care. She's been on a Care Bear kick. She was like, I get out the new Care Bears. I'm like, those aren't new Care Bears. Those are Christmas presents. You just saw them come in. She's like, I can get into them. No, no, you cannot. He stocked out some deliveries and saw a couple of Christmas presents come in. It's like, no, we're not doing that. But what I was saying is, with Jeremy and George, one of the reasons I talk about their safety and worry about it is because in my own life, I worry about safety. I do. The one thing I worry about, again, the one thing I can't control are people that, again, they can motivate someone to do something horrible. Because their narratives, I think they have also proven that the authorities do nothing there. That's one difference. Like here, I firmly believe some crazy asshole shows up at my door and stuff. The authorities, how they would do something. But there they have it. They have them right there on their road, driving around, following people, doing freaking crazy shit. Nothing. Nuts. Vanessa, thanks for the 10 there. Wait, Buck. 2 more things? Exactly. Just 2 more things. Let me here's some lip gloss money. I'll tell her about her lip gloss money for sure. That's funny. She got some new lip gloss the other day, by the way, on Friday. She got her whole new thing on lip gloss. She's excited about that. Legal Vices, thanks for the squiggles. My tablet died. My tablet didn't die. She did know with that, didn't she? She did. My tablet died. My tablet didn't die. Oh, man. You have elevated the chats with your squiggles. AJ's World, thanks for the dude. Tug, can you show a tech to my mom like you just did? Show her tech? What tech did I show him? Oh, like the kid? Actually, my kid was showing that. Yeah, that would be her. Is that what you mean for her to show it? Yeah, she probably could. She actually pulled it up herself. To be honest, I was just explaining like the difference between turning off background music on a nap and turning off the sound effects. But yeah, I mean, she figured it out. It's crazy. Like a 5-year-old can figure out stuff. I feel like, man, my kid figures out stuff I've never. I'm like, man, what is up with that? Hey, John, thanks for the 5 on another note. Many still hate him. They may have been exonerated. Allegedly, the main accusers of him were just looking for a free trip to London. I have not looked at that case there with him. I was troubled by some of his statements he himself made. I mean, he talked about using men, using women, just some horrible stuff. Now, as far as cases, here's the thing with a case. A case, even if things are provable, first of all, they have to prove specific allegations. But even if they know that they're provable, they have to be able to present them in court. And if they have people, if they lean on two people to prove that, they say these witness X and Y, and those people, they don't work out. That's the way court cases go. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I haven't followed up on everything with them. Man, there's been enough messed up stuff though. I thought the investigations, like from say a CoffeeZilla, for example, again, he just hits the proverbial tip of the iceberg sometimes, right? But when they were talking about some of the skimming, there are a lot of these people that are involved in either scams in the quote unquote manosphere. Tell men how to be, not teach them how to be confident, but scam them out of money. Or in many of these larger, I hate the word influencer, but I'm going to use it anyway. Larger quote unquote influencers, crypto scams. My God, some of those people, it's amazing how many of them have like taken millions, and they're still very popular people. But I haven't looked into that case itself. Not in a while, not in a long while. I might look in. I want to see the documentation itself and see what's going on there. And John, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships too. Appreciate that. That's crazy though. If everything that goes on with cases too. I saw the thing with the Conor McGregor thing. Like, I don't understand it so far. I know a civil case was brought and damages were brought against him in a civil case where a woman made allegations. I'm not going to go into allegations. I don't know enough about them, but he lost civil lawsuit, but there was no criminal lawsuit or criminal case rather that was brought. So I want to look into that too, because I saw all of that stuff come up, and I'm not making commentary on it because I don't know anything about it. When I look at it, I look from a lens of, if I haven't seen about it, I don't trust anything in it. I've seen the justice system screw up. I've seen them get it wrong as well as get it right. I've seen craziness happen that I just can't believe sometimes. So I'm not making any comment pro or con on any of it, because all I've seen are news headlines on it. And that is not the place that you find information out, for sure. John, too. Thanks for 5 gifted memberships. I think I said that, but if I didn't, I don't remember. I don't know. I talked for a second there. If I did, thank you again. If I didn't, thank you. Lori, thanks for the 5 there. My mom would use that. I'm a poet and don't know it. My feet show it. They're long pillows. Yeah. My grandma used to say that too. She'd say, I'm a poet and don't know it. I know. I love the old Southern. She would also say things like "dog will hunt," and stuff like that. Oh, it's beautiful. AJ's World, what's up, AJ? By the way, thanks for the 2 there. Yes, try explaining smartphones to a 71-year-old. Oh man, I've been there. I was trying to explain to my mom about the features on her phone. How they work, like how certain things work, and we still can't get FaceTime ever right. She still cannot. She's like, I give up. I'm never going to FaceTime. I'm like, push that button right there. You just push that button. No, I don't get it. That's okay. That's okay. It's a different world, man. Even in my life, I've gone from, I was fortunate as a kid to have a computer in front of me back in the day, way back in the day. I was fortunate. So I've always been able to look at what was going on with technology. I knew people that had stuff like that. And when it got to a certain time, you're able to find, like, when they thought computers finally weren't going to do anything, you could finally afford somewhat a base model. We, like I said, we were not well to do. We were pretty poor. So, but, knowing people, I was fortunate enough to see technology. Otherwise, I might feel like lost in the fields myself. But anyway, I think we've had a good live stream. Megalodonus Foe is going to be away for a little bit, but I think Tuesday we may have our live stream. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'll do anything tomorrow. Typically, I've been skipping Sundays, but I don't know. I hate to say I'd skip something and something amazing happened, so I'm not sure. But Monday for sure. I'm pretty sure that we will be back Monday. But with this, I'm going to leave you. I think I want to play that new song one more time. I think I'll do that as an extra just because I like that new song. I thought it was funny. I usually put the lyrics with them, but I didn't. I made it like, actually what's funny is I made that song right after Megan's live stream. I made it pretty quickly. I thought it was funny, you know. So I'm going to leave you with that. We'll be done. Appreciate you.
Welcome to Mayberry. Population Army of One. A lot of mother fifers spreading my name with rage. Masked up, dropping the bass now, ready to laugh you off the stage. It's that umbrella guy back with the mic check, standing still crushing the show. We're PR, no we're not. Wait, a website interfering with his cash flow. And maybe stop using kids to push your cheap products. Yeah, you can't sell them shaped like small roosters. Yeah, roosters, that's it. Yo, roosters. And while we're dancing, let's kick this into overdrive. Wrecking the hardwood to see if roaches will survive. How many people have they threatened and docked so far? Targeting witnesses and police while claiming nowhere PR. There's a legal line, and you're too dumb to know you've crossed it. Dial a lawyer, maybe they'll tell you to toss it. And here's a question, how to tuck yourself into bed, knowing what they keep in a bottle in the back of that shed. The X you ignore. You say listen and believe, well, you got it. Your own client's version of truth. Yeah, we've sought it. Pretending everyone is sympathetic, but the things she's alleges you're ignoring now, that's pathetic. Pretend alright, but keep flexing, pretending you can't lose, hoping you'll make on the nightly news. At this rate, not only will you fail, but one of you morons might land themselves under the jail. Funny how it's their truth you're being sacrificed on the altar for. Not the truth. Their truth. Their version of whatever makes the change jangle. But hey, as long as you sell a few shiny baubles and get some greenbacks, you're okay with it, right? Right.